regarding the topic called the sex and significance of sexual abuse. The survivor's recovery, the healing process from sexual abuse, and the internal options and spirituality. First, we want to share regarding statistics. Every 2 minutes, someone is raped in the United States. Less than 39% of crimes are reported. 80% of survivors reported knew their offenders. Over 50% of convicted offenders will serve less than 1 year in jail for their crime. More than 90% of people with developmental disabilities are sexually abused. That's an alarming set of statistics right there. And then also, 1 in every 6 women will be sexually assaulted in their lifetime. College-age women are 4 times more likely to be sexually assaulted. 1 in 7 men now, it's becoming more prevalent with the men now, will be sexually assaulted. With these projections, it is very imperative that every one of us are aware and become educated of sexual abuse offenders and how they target their victims. Rape and sexual assault statistics, more. The total number was 483, and the crime cases, 75% out of that number. And then with regard to detectives, 64%. And defendants that were charged were 34%. And then the CPS prosecuted only 23%. While a court proceeding, with regard to court proceedings, 21%. And convictions with regard to all offenders were a mere 13%. Convictions with regard to rape was a mere 6%. So as you can see with these statistics here in the United States of America, we have a serious social issue in our local society. The most common perpetrators of rape are husbands or partners, or we call them acquainted individuals like family relatives. They also notice that 97% of the callers to rape hotlines knew their offenders prior to the assault. And according to the 2001 statistics report, 47,000 and 190,000 assaults were female rape. That's an alarming figure. Okay, so the effects and significance of sexual abuse and the survivor's recovery. What is sexual abuse? The types of rape are we discussing or actually 3. And then the rape statistics, I've already given you some. And then a qualitative survey and statistics that I have taken for myself. And a summary of 5 survivors that I interviewed myself. And those survivors' stories, their self-help techniques, and therapy, as well as sharing some of the resources that I have obtained. What is sexual abuse? I will be talking about molestation, rape, and assault. What is molestation? Molestation is the crime of sexual acts with children up to the age of 18, including touching the private parts, exposure of genitalia, taking of pornographic pictures, rape, inducement of sexual acts with the molester or with other children, and a variation of these types of acts of pedophiles. It also applies to incest by relatives with a minor family member, and any unwanted sexual act with adults, short of rape. What is sexual assault? Sexual assault is defined by the California Education victim sexual consent and compliance, but it's by deception. It is by fraudulent statements. I discovered in my research that there are various types of rape, and they're inclusive of anger, power, sadistic, base and gang rape, spousal rape, rape of children, statutory rape, prison rape, war rape, rape by deception, and prison rape. Why victims do not seek help? When a woman suffers rape from her husband or a man who she has known for a long time, it is very hard for her to call get ready and call him a rapist. Why? Because she feels that no one may believe her. However, what is great is that police training and practice has improved dramatically over the past few years, and if this happens to you or someone that you know, your story will be taken very seriously, and you will be respected and given dignity and kept informed with regard to the process of the case. In my personal survey that I did a qualitative type of survey with regard to giving, say, about 20 unanimous, people that didn't have a name, I didn't want their names, I didn't want, who they were, where they were. I just wanted the information. So basically, I talked to both men and women, and these are some of my findings. The blue represents assault that occurred, the brown represents molestation, and the green color coded is representative of rape. So, with regard to the 20 people that I spoke with, 4 out of 20 had been assaulted when they were little children at the age of 4, or as adolescents, rather. And then 7 children were molested as adolescents. As teens, I found that 5 of the 20 that I interviewed were assaulted, okay, and 3 were molested, and 4 were raped in their teens. That's the teenage bracket. And then with regard to the adult bracket, I found that 11 were assaulted as adults, and 10 were molested when they were adults, and 15 were raped when they were adults. These are alarming. This was a given people that I spoke with and gave our survey. So you see that it is a big issue that we really need some type of stringent legislative action taken place and put into effect so that these numbers will decrease and that we can also reduce the stigma of rape. Survivors introduced. I did this interview and I wanted to protect the identity of participants, so in my interview with them, I had the camera facing me and also had one of the individuals in me. Okay? The interview that I will show right now is with regard to a rape case that happened with a survivor that speaks out, and it is entitled Justice Behavior.
Looks like, sorry. I think you're, not doing,
Okay, yeah, now I see a timer on it.
Perfect.
Perfect.
My name is Wynnde. I'm interviewing one of my friends regarding the research on sexual assault, sexual rape. The purpose of this survey is to examine why assault and rape is a traumatic and the survivor's process toward recovery. The significance of this study is to shed light on the effects that sexual assault rape has on women. Okay? So tell me, have you ever been a victim of rape at any time in your life?
Sexual assault, yes.
Sexual assault. And how old were you?
13.
Okay. And were you in school at the time?
Yes.
Were you traumatized to the extent where that you had to drop out of school for a while?
I didn't drop out of school. I basically just kind of shut down. I was very much in denial, and my father had passed away 6 months before this had happened, so I basically just retreated to a shell. I mean, I went to school, but that was a few months before I started drinking pretty heavily.
So, if I understand you correctly, that made you numb?
Yeah.
Numb you to all the reality
Yeah.
of what's happening on a daily routine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry to hear that. I can relate to your story, okay? Were you forced to relocate to another area, or were you not able to because your parents were, did you provide?
It was a family member who lived in my household.
Okay, so you weren't able to even escape?
No. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, did this experience affect your ability to focus and comprehend in your classroom activities or classwork as a student?
Yes. Kind of hard to say exactly how, because it was sort of this whole time of my life was just so, everything was turned upside down. I didn't really know what to make of anything. My mom was not very open, and we weren't close after my father passed away. She was, I mean, it wasn't like I didn't know her, but I didn't know how to relate to her yet. I was always very much a daddy's girl, so when it was just me and her, that I didn't really know how to, like, open up about anything. So, yeah, definitely affected school, definitely affected my focus, definitely affected everything like that, and that's, like I said before, I really started to I had a great childhood, no complaints, but then after that, I mean, I rebelled because I didn't know how to handle it. Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 would be the most intense.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I for my own sake, sometimes I try to, like, deny it or say it didn't affect me that much, but the way it affected relationships with men after that was very, I can, even to this day, I still struggle with how I relate to men.
The time.
Afternoon,
The purpose of this survey is to examine why sexual assault, rape is traumatic and survivors' process toward recovery. The significance of this study is to shed light on the effects sexual assault or rape has on college students. I'm interviewing Wynnde. Wynnde, have you ever been a victim of rape while enrolled in college?
Yes, I have been a victim of rape while in college. I was married at that time, and I was, I think it was my 4th year into the marriage, and it was very traumatic for me. Yes.
If yes, did you drop out of college temporarily?
I dropped out of college. Yes, I felt my life was threatened because prior to that, after he did that, he tried to hide his secret, and I found out his secret, and then he attempted to kill me while I was sleeping. So I wake up, and a knife is coming down on me by the person I married, and I'm shocked. I screamed. This was so scary, devastating. I would never want anyone to be in that position ever in life. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. My worst enemy, I would not wish that.
Were you forced to relocate to another college or city?
Absolutely, yes. In fearing for my life, he had convinced me through his way of control, verbal control and verbal abuse, that no one would ever believe me, that he had presented himself so perfectly in public, that he was always doting over me in public, that no one would ever believe anything I ever said about him. And he literally laughed in my face all the time. He said, "They're not going to believe you." He just laughed. He laughed like he played the biggest joke on me. He could have won actually a Stellar Award for the way he presented himself. I relocated to Los Angeles. I waited until I could graduate. I graduated, and then I made all my moves. I had to get out of school early, so when I had enough credit to just graduate with an AA, So, and then, I relocated and tried to start my life all over. I had to get out. I couldn't absorb anything in class. The instructors talking, I was so numb and so shocked. Nothing. I didn't get nothing. I was just like a zombie. I never forget. One of my sisters took a class with me, and the teacher was saying, it was a French class. The instructor had asked me a question, and I was there, but I wasn't there. And my sister came over and she said, she's talking to me. Did you hear her? She was shaking. I was that out of it. I was there, but I wasn't there.
On a scale of 1 to 10, did this traumatic experience affect your ability to focus or comprehend class lectures, discussions during class?
Absolutely, yes. Yes. It's very debilitating. It's horrifying. It's being terrorized in your home, and then, and then rape, and then have to come to meet the world. It's just, I don't know.
At what time of the day did the incident occur?
And then,
was the person a male or a female?
No. He was my husband.
Okay, so was the relationship a casual platonic relationship?
No, I was actually married. I was married, and I had discovered my husband was having extramarital affairs. And he would come home drunk, a change in behavior. He started putting alcohol in the refrigerator, a change in behavior. He started coming home late, like 1 o'clock, and then it would be 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and then he started lying. The different places he said he was going, he really never was there. So one day I decided to see where he was. If where he said he was going, was literally true. And I learned that evening, I couldn't trust him. I could not trust him. And so I prayed about it. I fasted about it. And, prayed out to God what I have to say in such a marriage like this. I didn't deserve this. One evening, it was like I was literally told, it's like it was compelled to go to this park that he just loved to hang out with. Not with me, but, I know we had been there once. But I drove there and I busted him so clean with the person, and it was, oh my God, it was bad.
How long were you in the relationship with him?
I stayed for 4.5 years.
How do you attempt to heal from this traumatic incident? Have you sought help?
One of the ways I did seek help was I asked him to go and get counseled by a Christian therapist. I even contacted our pastor at the time, who actually counseled us. Of course, my husband now, he did not wish to do that I was not going to live any longer with that. That was just totally abnormal to me. I was not something of any type of abuse, and I didn't think I deserved that. So it has beat down my self-esteem. It's just so many areas it tore from me. I felt like I was alive, but I was dying.
You are not the blame of the rapist's actions. Do you ever feel guilty in any way?
I do. I felt that I should have moved signs. I don't know how, but I felt that I shouldn't have stayed even that long.
Right. How do you feel about confronting your attacker? Would you want to?
Actually, how I did, for me to kind of like heal from it, I literally placed a chair in front of me and I pretended, like visualized him there, and I said, I forgive you for what you did to me. And I just went through that type of therapy, in terms of me forgiving the person. And it worked for me in terms of, I don't think he had the wherewithal, because he was such a compulsive liar. Mm-hmm. He will even say he didn't do it. That's the kind of person he is. He's a winsome person. I'm telling you, he could have won a stellar award.
Has this incident made you promiscuous in sexual activity?
Years ago it had, a little. It had, but because of the way I was raised, I was like, I'm not going to do that. That's not me, you know, but it made me a little bit, it really did. It made me, but I chose to determine, so I could count on one hand the guys I've been with. And when I say been with, I mean like my friends, that in terms of having little sex with someone else. I would say no, in terms of intercourse, no, I didn't want that. I wanted to my body. When a person goes through something like that, you feel like you've been violated, betrayed, you feel dehumanized, you feel like falling up in a fetal position and not coming out again. You feel horrible, you feel gross, you feel yuck, it's like layers, it's gross, it's so hard to describe. So, I wanted me back. I want my life, I want my mind, I want my emotions, I wanted my body back.
Has this incident changed your outlook on sexual activity?
In the right relationship, I think that having the right person in my life, male factor, I think it's, the way God designed it, I think it's perfect. That for anything like that, I'm pretty sure thank God for the women I know the time.
Approximately how long do you think it may take to recover from this incident?
It's been a while. It takes a while. It's a process. Some people never get over it. I just am grateful to God for bringing me through thus far. In terms of the healing process, I went through huge depression. I would cry. I was dealing with so much, and on top of it, that as well. So, wow. I'm just grateful to be alive. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for knowing who I am in God so that I can see who God wanted me to be. And that, I think that helped me more than anything, knowing that I was married first to God. So anything or anyone else, they were like second. So, and that to me helped me hold my mind together.
Has the sexual abuser blamed himself or and his behavior for alcohol use?
No, he doesn't. He would never. He's not. He doesn't have a wherewithal. He doesn't see it.
Have you enrolled in self-defense classes?
I haven't, but I plan to. I heard about it, and yeah, I have.
Have you experienced physical threats by the rapist?
No, actually, I heard that he moved. He relocated, but sometimes he comes and visits the area. The area in terms of the geographical location, and I can feel when he's around, he's like prowling, stalking me out, but he thinks I don't know, but anytime a person has been traumatized by individuals like that, you can tell, I don't know, it's extrasensory something that God gives you. You can tell when that person is in your neighborhood, around you somewhere, you can feel it, it's like your hairs go up on your whole body, you know.
Do you think it is important to be educated about sexual assault?
Absolutely. I think every woman should be aware of it because when it really hit me, I was so irate. I was so angry. I literally wanted to kill him. I really did.
Has anyone suggested exercise, dance, music, or sports as an outlet for emotional healing from this traumatic experience?
No, they have not. However, being a person that loves being creative and loving to sing, a singer, writer, artist, arranger, and all, that's been integrated into my life from a little child. So I really believe that singing has helped me and helped me heal and helped me through this process and helped me to survive it and overcome it. And I'm just very, like I said, I'm very grateful to God for God blessing me to want to live because sometimes, I felt like killing myself. There was those voices that said, you should kill yourself. This is bad. You didn't deserve this. But then there was another voice that said, if you do, you're going to miss out on this. I have so much for you. Why would you want to kill yourself? You didn't deserve this. There's a better life for you. This happened to you. It's not your fault. Live and watch and see what happens to you. So I'm grateful that I chose life and not death.
Has this negative experience did it make you a stronger person?
Absolutely. 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 I believe that it has made me become. I used to think that I had to do something really bad to have a story, and not even considering all the stuff, all the terror of the night, all the sexual abuse and physical abuse and verbal abuse that I went through. That was a story in itself, and I wasn't even considering that. I was just living life.
Would you consider becoming an advocate, therapist, counselor in the present future?
Absolutely, yes. That is one of the things that I'm striving for now. It just seems like life is taking me round circle. I remember when I initially enrolled in college that I took a lot of psychology classes, and I wanted to know why people behavior, why did they act like they did. I wanted to know, I wanted to get to the bottom. I felt like if I could just get them to answer that question of why, I could find the core of why their behavior is as such. So I took a lot of behavior and psychology, family classes to try to even understand the person that I was involved in. And it helped me get through it, those trying, challenging, horrific times. And now, here it is, years later, I'm blessed to learn out of school that literally can train me and become a marriage and family therapist. And definitely, yes, I would consider being an advocate for any woman or man that has experienced such a traumatic sexual raping experience. Thank you.
Am I holding it on me? Okay, great. All right, the purpose of this survey is to examine why sexual assault, rape, molestation is traumatic and the survivor's process toward recovery. The significance of this study is to shed light on the effects that sexual assault, molestation, and rape have on individuals, male and female. Okay, so my first question is, have you ever been a victim of rape, molestation, or assault?
Yes.
Okay. And if yes, did you drop out of school at all?
No.
Okay. And were you forced to relocate to another area, city, school, etc.?
No.
No. Okay. And was it by a brother, sister, relative, or a person, a stranger you didn't know?
A relative.
A relative.
With my grandfather.
Okay, it was the consistency. That's what we're talking about. Those patterns, the same thing. Okay. And at the time, was it morning, noon, night, midnight, graveyard time?
Well, I was a child.
Okay.
So I was like about, I don't know, 7, 6 years old.
Okay.
So if you ask me, it might have been throughout the day.
Okay. Okay.
It was the day. I don't
Okay.
know.
All right. And how did you attempt to heal? Have you ever engaged in therapy, counseling, a pastor, a dear friend? You know what I mean? What was your method of approach toward healing? God, prayer?
Yeah, it was definitely God, because if you think about it, I was just 7 years old. What do I know about processing
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and healing and
Yes.
all
Okay.
that?
Okay. And then, did you ever feel like you were to blame? Did you feel guilty? Were you too young?
Not now,
Okay.
but at that time, I felt guilty.
Okay.
I felt like, was I doing something that caused it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I remember feeling that back then. Not now.
Mm-hmm.
I know it wasn't my fault.
Right.
But
that's what we want.
I know it wasn't my fault.
Right.
But at that time, I remembered, I'm like, maybe it's the way I dress. And I was just a little girl. Since he was my grandfather, I never said anything. And I remember every time he was over, I would find myself, make sure I was wearing pants, making sure I was always wearing jackets, loose clothes, nothing that showed my skin.
Nothing revealing.
Nothing. And I was just a little kid.
Smart girl.
I was just a little kid.
That's wise. Very wise. How do you or did you feel about confronting the individual, the person?
I never did.
Never.
Well, confronting them and why did you do this or you didn't do this, I never did. But that first incident, it probably happened once or twice, and I remember telling him, ever since then, I remember defending myself, saying, don't ever touch me, if not, I'm going to tell my mom. I'm going to scream and I'm going to tell my mom. So I learned to defend myself in that way, but then again, I never told my parents till I was, 17 years old.
But he backed off, did he back off?
He always was there. He was always there, he always tried.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. I know that's a scar that we live with, you know what I mean? And the healing takes time. It for me, it's been like 15 years ago. But and I'm making lemonade. I always say I'm making lemonade out of the lemon that was thrown at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel that I can help people. You know what I mean? Because it affects us all. It stifles us, it debilitates us through the normal processing of growth and development. You see?
The part where I was a little bit more was, I think even, not now, because this class has actually helped me a lot, but I had a certain resentment towards my mom, which was her dad. And the fact that I wasn't able to tell her, I didn't feel comfortable to tell her, nor my dad, I think it's because it's her dad. I had a certain resentment towards her.
Sure. I have another question for you. Has this incident made you at any time feel a little bit more interested, be curious about sex, or promiscuous in any way?
No.
It made you feel isolated with your own body?
Yeah, I'm very overprotective of my body. Yeah, definitely. I've been, it's, that I do know, that I can't choose anybody. I feel, it's very easy for me to feel that I'm being violated. Because if a person that I'm a partner or somebody I'm with and touching me and touch me a certain way, I feel like I'm being violated. It's like, don't do that. I feel violated.
I understand.
Yeah, so.
We know, I always say, very often, we know the feeling of true love. We know if a person cares and if it's nurturing versus if it's just we know the touch. We do. As women, we're very, very sensitive, so we know. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Has this incident that has been so traumatic changed your outlook on sexual activity, period? In general, intensely?
No, it hasn't. I think, that is something natural, and it's done with the person you love, and that I do know. I am very, like I said, careful, and also that I don't feel violated. That's very important to me. It's like if a person, and it does affect my relationship if I feel a certain touch, I feel violated, because right away I start backing away. It's like, I can't do it. Even if I would want to get close to this person, I couldn't.
Yeah. It's a distinct, isn't it? It's a radar light, a building radar,
Yeah.
Okay. But how long do you think it has taken you or may take you to completely recover? I'm reading in my research that some people never recover. They are debilitated and in a fetal position for the rest of their lives because they do not have a support system at all. So that's kind of scary to know that happens to that degree.
Well, luckily, even though I was never able to open up to my mom, my dad, but I think it was more me being afraid of being blamed since I was a child. Because I think I was able to recover. I am the person I am now because of them. And my brothers and my sister. I had a really good support. Plus, they're really religious also in God. To me, that also helped me. Even though that's something I carry inside of me. And I never really said anything about it. I think I chose to block it out. I don't think you ever forget it. And I think it's something that even if you remember, it still hurts. And you see the damage that it cost you. And you see the damage. It's kind of like, I see how it affects my relationships or how I see how am I more careful about men, or how am I supposed to trust a person when my own grandfather was at my own house?
Exactly. I understand.
So I really don't think you do recover because you learn, you move along, and you realize there's better things in life than this person. But then again, it's always that question.
Have you enrolled in any type of self-defense classes?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
And that's
Do you plan
something,
to?
definitely, that's something I mean, I realized I would be really interested in self-defense. I think I've heard so much about it now that I think it would be really great. I also do see I have 2 daughters of my own.
Wow. What are they ages?
10 and 5.
Awesome.
And I'm not overprotective, but I always have this communication. I explain to them, nobody's supposed to touch you. I give them that piece, like, you make sure these are your private parts, something that they didn't do with me. And it wasn't because my parents were not doing the right thing or they didn't educate me right, but they didn't. I think it's because that wasn't never even supposed to happen according to them, right? So they didn't know any better, I want to think, and that's something I do with my daughters. Nobody touches you, nobody violates you, and if something like that ever happens, you come to me right away, and it's something wrong. That's the change that I want to do in them. And I'm not overprotective, like I said, like even with my dad, or because even that, crosses my line. You see, there's a damage that causes you, and you know that it's there, but then again, I'm not going to let it control me.
Right. That's very good. Have you ever had any physical threats by him?
He passed away.
You know what I mean? Okay.
He passed away. He was very old at that time. So, no, no. I just remember him, at that time, he would always want to bribe me. Even when I was older, he would want to bribe me. I'll give you this or I'll give you that. Just come, come here, kind of a thing. Maybe the first time I fell into it because I was a little girl, 6 years old.
What do you know? What did kids know?
I didn't even know. What was, I had no idea. After that.
You knew.
Yeah.
Do you think it is important to be educated and to educate others about sexual awareness, rape, what it is, molestation, what it is, assault, what it is?
Definitely. But I guess because of my experience, I feel it's so important for you to teach that to your kids, because a lot of the cases, I think it's important to educate, especially the kids.
Yes.
As they're young.
Oh, yes.
Because a lot of it, it does happen out in the street, unfortunately, that a stranger comes and does this to you. But a lot of it, the person is in your household.
Yeah, and it's consistent pattern is what I'm hearing a lot.
And it's very sad. And it's very sad that your home is supposed to be a safe place. It's a safe place for you, and you're being a child, and you can't even be safe in your own home. That's not. I think that's where the main education has to start.
In the home.
In the home, and when you're a little kid.
I agree, wholeheartedly. Has anyone suggested dance, poetry, exercise, any type of activities to be a part of the healing process?
No, again, I was a little girl. I didn't even talk to anybody or said anything. Now, I did go to therapy eventually, about 2 years ago.
Good.
But it was something done because I felt like I needed closure in many of the things.
Sure, absolutely. I understand.
Yeah.
I went to counseling too, so I understand. Even if it's not right then, that to bring about that closure is definitely needed. Has this experience made you a stronger person?
Definitely. Once you overcome it and you don't let it control you.
Right. Like the way you put that, you don't let it control you.
Because it's an anger. It's an anger, and it's a sadness, and it's a violation feeling.
Right.
If you let that overpower you, and you have no control over your actions, and you start acting upon it, then that's when you're letting that damage you even more.
Right.
But if you don't let that happen, that feeling overpower you, know what, it's a learning experience, something that made you stronger, something you could teach other people about. My kids, for example.
Sure.
And, yeah.
Would you then be interested in becoming an advocate, a therapist, a psychologist, physician, bring about awareness, work in the healthcare as a professional as a result of what has happened to you? What do you bring? What could you, if you should or considered it, bring to
Yes,
the table?
definitely. I mean, it's a horrible experience.
Sure, definitely.
You want to help other people, and I do work with kids. You know, I do work with kids, and I'm a home visitor, and I'm very close to the families, and I work very close to with the moms, the dads, and the babies.
Awesome.
So, if you think about it,
you're doing it anyway. Yeah. Caregiver.
Yes,
That's awesome.
I do it.
Okay. The feeling, I didn't ask this question. The feeling of cleanness or dirtiness. I know for me, when you shower, I feel like a feeling like that. You know, it's like soap can't take that feeling away. Do you know what I mean? Can you relate to me on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, yeah.
And did the ideal of suicide or the thought of suicide ever cross your mind anytime during your life?
No.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, thank you so very much. I appreciate you taking your time and to help me with this survey.
Thank you.
And it's going to be a help to a lot of people.
I really hope so.
Anywhere away from the attacker, your immediate concern is safety. Number 2, report the attack. Call the police. And you can also call any of the crisis hotlines, one of which is Project Sister, which is a 24-hour crisis hotline, and they will have you meet with a counselor immediately. And then number 3, to preserve evidence of the attacker, do not douche, shower, brush your teeth, change clothing, or remove anything from the location of the assault. Professional therapy. Besides traditional counseling available, there now exist new professional therapeutic approaches, one of which you have in your handouts is the EMDR, and then brain scanning. I thought that the brain scanning was really significant because they are noticing that when a